Hey guys, it's Surreal, and today I'm going to be doing a deck profile on the Ultima Gold Paladin deck. So before I get into the deck profile, I do want to give shoutouts to Nico for the concept and for him helping me out with my list. Thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate that. And by that I mean we just swapped ideas. I told him some ideas that I had in my opinions, and he was like, yeah, no, that's cool. But mainly shoutouts to him for creating the concept. This isn't my concept at all. I don't want people thinking that. I just and getting this out to the world that Gold Paladin can still compete, and I'm very happy about that. So this is the Ultima OTK deck. This isn't the exact list I played when I scrubbed out Envision, but this is similar to that. I will tell you guys the changes that I made to it later on, but I am definitely really excited to move forward with the Ultima concept. I have a lot of ideas for it, and without further ado, let's get straight into this. Also, before I forget, shoutouts to Ian for posting the the video that he did, which was what is this Gold Paladin deck. It's the deck in action, so if you want to see it, please go check it out. That link will be in the description below. So let's get started with the deck profile. So starting Vanguard is Kirf. Kirf is very self-explanatory. You're playing Ezel. If you're not playing Kirf, I don't know, man. You have to. I don't even need to get into that. For grade 3s, I'm playing 4 blondes. You need the 4 blondes. No exception. No, I don't even need to get into that. For Raven, accelerates your Excel markers. It's nice. I know that Nico changed up his list, so by playing this dude, you can play this dude if you want to as well. Basically, this guy just gets power for all of your rear guards. I think it's other rear guards. No, it's for all rear guards, including him, during the main phase. So it's pretty good for scaling in power and having bigger rear guards for your ultimate turn and overall just turns in general. So he's pretty cool. Sorry about that. But I played this because it's another Ezel, and it can speed up my markers, and having multiple markers is nice. It increases the deck's lethality. You can still kill with one Excel marker. It's not impossible with one. It happens pretty often with one Excel marker, but the more markers you have, the higher the lethality the deck kill rate is. Yes, the higher lethality rate it is on the Ultima turn. So just keep that in mind. I like it a lot, but I don't know. Obviously, I think this is better. You can also play other things like Militant Act if you're really worried about Link Joker. I know that in my experience, Link Joker did take a game off me because they were able to constantly lock me down. So even when I ultimate, it wasn't effective. To be fair, I also played like a monkey in that game. I was really tired. But still, just knowing that they can keep locking you down is quite huge, especially if they're able to constantly relock after your unlock turn. It can be really tough, so you can play Militant Act if you want. But other than that, Sagamore is really good, helps you dig for your ultimate strike cost. Also, if you high roll the person, so if you go first, you're still able to put out a lot of pressure with Sagamore because Sagamore gives you the early board. Solemn Vanguard probably is ew, Sagamore, because he has a vendetta towards Sagamore. But Sagamore is actually pretty good right now, so I would suggest you play him. He helped me a lot, and I think he's a good card. And I don't think I've ever stopped playing Sagamore, if I'm being honest. Ever since he came out, I've always been playing him. I've always liked Sagamore. So, yeah. That's the grade 3 lineup. The grade 2s for Bowman's, very simple. You're playing Ezel. I don't need to get into it. Disappear Ride is pretty busted. For Eagle, this is the thing that gets to 100k plus by itself. Eagle's skill is whenever a unit is placed, just either on the board or it is placed on Guardian Circle, he gets 5k until the end of turn. So that includes as well when your Vanguard is placed. I didn't know that till Nico pointed it out, so thank you again. But the bird gets super big, super big, super fast. And whenever you're guarding as well, just note if your birds are in the front row, they're going to keep getting power. So it's going to be harder for your opponent to hit them, which is also really nice. Having a rear guard that gets powered defensively as well is, I think, quite convenient and quite good. Especially if they're trying to damage deny you with the ultima or they're trying to get rid of it, you can guard and not have to worry too much about how big the line is because it's getting power as you guard your Vanguard, which is really nice. Also, when you ride it to defensively in the early game, that's really useful, knowing that you can drop 2 cards and it's going to be then a 15k butt. And if you hit a defensive trigger, it's even bigger. Can definitely shut down a lot of decks early games. So that's also really good. But he's mainly here for the ultimate turn, because what you do is you call your hand, like you dump your hand just to pump him, and he gets 5k for each call. So prior to you dumping your hand, he might get like a few extra powers from when you stride into Ultima, when it's called by Ultima's effect because of the other unit called, and then it gets super fat, and then you just swing for like 100 plus. So he's like the backbone. The bird is definitely the backbone. You need to have at least 2 on your Ultima kill turn. In my opinion, you need the 2, at least the 2, to make sure that Ultima is guaranteed to kill. So just keep that in mind when you play the deck. Next up is Provident Angel. Provident Angel is another reason why the Ultima deck exists, because he's able to restrict your opponent from calling more than 1 Sentinel from hand, which is quite good. It's very strong. A lot of decks can't deal with it. The only ones that can are the Gold Paladin Mirror if they sack like a mark off the Slay Me Flare, or Grand Blue. Grand Blue is by far one of the most peeving matchups I've ever played. I dislike the Grand Blue matchup a lot because of the fact that they have Negranora. Negranora is super MVP, and it's able to PG from Drop Zone, so just keep that in mind too. Also Pale Moon. Pale Moon can superior PG from Soul. Things like that. Like, it'll stop them from hand though. So like Protect Clans, aside from like Grand Blue, yeah, they have like a really tough time. Like a really tough time against this. Because they're only able to call 1 Sentinel. Even decks like Bermuda Triangle. Like Caro Expo, I don't want to get too much into the Caro Expo matchup. That one's actually really tough, I think. But the fact that they have access just to Aqua, you just shut down the Aqua, and they don't have access to Ellie anymore, which is really good. Like, it's really good that they don't have access to Ellie anymore, so they can't, like, guard, like, your fat, like, 100k lines with, like, no problem, which is really nice. But another thing about Angel is that he also gets fat. He gets 10k power every time you use the skill to counterblast 1. So basically what you do for your kill turn is you call him, you do that's not the bird. You have the bird, let's pretend that the Angel's on the Excel circle, just so you guys can, like, get an understanding. If you have, like, a few damage face up, let's say you have 3 counterblast face up after ultimating. You call your hand, let's say it's, like, 6 cards, that's, like, plus 30, and these were on the board prior, so they have, like, what, plus 45. Let's say they have plus 45 on them, okay? These are, like, 50k lines by themselves, okay? Before boost, let's say they have, like, 2 Bernius boosting them, that's, like, 58 with boost, okay? Cool. You have 3 counterblast open, you have, like, no cards in hand. You use this thing skill 3 times. On the Excel 2, it's going to be 44 on its own. When Ultima swings, if it's only 2 triggers, it's 66. Sorry, 64 on its own. And then these things, that's, like, plus 40, it'll be, like, 98. Like, they're going to be, like, really fat. And just, like, boom, boom, right? So, Angel also being able to gain power is really, really, really important. But just beware, if you have multiple Excel circles, when you're ultimating, just be careful of if you know your opponent has the Honolly in their hand, or that only if they can call the Honolly, or if they have the Honolly down on board. Because the Honolly can mess up this deck unless you have, like, the 1 Excel circle. If you have the 1 Excel circle, you're fine. Honolly doesn't stop 4th or more, it's 5th or more. So if you only have, like, the 1 Excel circle, you're good. Just spam the counterblast and then go in. So that's the grade 2 lineup. The grade 1s, I already went through the grade 3s. This is a bit different from the Vision event as well as the triggers from when I played in the Vision event. So I will be letting you guys know what I was playing. So I didn't play 4 Brenius. I played 3 in the Vision event. I'll get into that later. But Brenius is really strong because you're able to dig for your ultimate strike cost. You're able to activate things like Din Drain during your ultimate turn. When you initially stride Ultima, you can use the skill, go soul, draw 1, call 1, countercharge 1, then use Ultima. Super nice, super clutch. I love it. Also, during, like, your high roll, like, if you're high rolling the opponent, you have access to this play. Like, in standard, it's pretty standard. But the Brenius, I think it's the filter that matters the most from him, and the fact that he can also call out the bird when you ride before you ultima, or he pumps the bird even more when you're ultimating, is super good. So Brenius is a must. At least 3, in my opinion. Then I play 3 Din Drain. Din Drain, you don't need more than 3. 3 is good. The reason is because it's the countercharge or the draw. Typically, this deck wants to give your opponent 0 damage. So being able to call units that let you draw cards is really nice. I like it a lot. In the Garmor Ultima list I was playing with, I'm pretty sure I'm going to switch it to, like, some other thing that's, like, not Garmor. I'm not too sure, but it's Garmor for now. the other ultimate deck I built. It's playing this and Cool Gull, because Cool Gull is on place from deck. You get to draw one, which is really cool. And so you're just going to be fluffing your hand up a lot and being able to do that so you can survive your opponent's turns while they try to push and kill you before you can ultima is really nice. Also, having more card advantage means that you can pump the bird a lot more and on the ultima turn, which is really nice. Also, in the early game, you can call it with Sagamore. You know the good stuff about this card. She's just really good. I like her at 3. I don't like her more than 3. I think it's fine at 3 because I'm playing other stuff. So, yeah. Then to Gareth, you're playing Ezel. You're playing Ezel. Yeah. Then the one-ofs, I'm playing like this. So I am playing 1 Lavinia. The reason why is because if you call her to rearguard circle from deck, you can bottom deck a rearguard and bounce her back to hand. So you can bottom deck something like a Dindrain or a Malegian or a Provident Angel or something like that, and add her to your hand at the end of your turn, meaning that it is a PG for your opponent's next turn, so you can practically guarantee your survival, or it'll help you out at least with the surviving. So that's really, really nice. I like her a lot because of that. Lavinia puts in a lot of work. I've been playing her for quite a bit. She's been in and out of my Ezel decks prior to the Wonder Ezel hit as well. Even like during the regional event that I was playing in before Kirif got hit, when I made top 8, I was playing Lavinia because she gives the deck defensive utility and defensive power, as well as still being able to be offensive, because you can still call your PG, swing with it. At the end of the turn, it's balancing, so you get more cards back to your hand while still being able to maintain some sort of offense. It's really nice, and especially being able to cycle things like Dindrain back to the deck, or critical triggers that you have called prior, or have had to call with Spear-X, because Spear-X is a mandatory call too, is just super nice. I like it a lot. I played her at 2 and played 3 Brennius in the Vision Cup, and then I played like, for my trigger lineup, I played, I think, like 2 drop PGs. Yeah, I should have just played 2 drop PGs in the Vision Cup. And I didn't mind that at all. I liked that because I would see her constantly. It was super nice being able to see her from Spear-X and getting PGs so I can survive my opponent's turn. It was really nice. Besok, you play the GB8. Honestly, I don't think you need the GB8. Like, I'm planning on cutting Besok because, like, I don't think you need it. Like, the GB8's nice to have, but you typically will be very close to decking out by the time you get there, and you should be winning on your ultimate turns. Besok is, however, a 10k booster, which is quite nice, or a 10k attacker if like you have her in the front row and you need like something to hit in the early game, like if you're aggroing super hard with Ezel, when you high roll, yeah, okay. But you can definitely like play around with it, cut her. I think she is a flex spot. I don't think Besok GB8 is mandatory. I could be wrong, but it's just my opinion. So just keep that in mind. Then I played 1 Malegian. Malegian super clutch. Malegian being able to CC2 is super strong. The counter charge 2 is big because you can pump Angel more or pump it less. However, you play with it, as well as it can give you enough counterblast to pump Angel enough times to win. And it refreshes your Spear-X. So if you have to use Spear-X to main phase stride, you can call it down, Soul Blast 2, Counter Charge 2. That's really big because then that might be the decider of if you can ultima next turn and win the game. So having the one of Malegian I think is really nice. If I were to cut Besok, I'd probably make it into another Malegian, if I'm being honest, because the Counter Charge 2 I think is just really valuable. The only thing though is Soul, so you gotta be really careful on how you're using your Soul. So who knows, like it could mess up a bit with Soul Blasting, because really the only cards that will help you accelerate Soul are Raven-Haired in this list because of the Superior Ride, Brennius, and the critical trigger, the premium crit, as well as Glorious Raining because it does Soul Charge 1 for its refund cost when it attacks, but that's like a stride. It's not really like things that will help you get to your Ultima faster and being able to constantly give you resources to Ultima. So yeah, but the Malegian is super big. It's definitely clutched me a lot. I think Malegian is super important and that you should be playing it because it's super tight. I like it a lot. So that's my grade 1s. Trigger lineup, 1 Ringer. In the Vision Cup, I played 3 Ringer. So I'm just going to like show you guys the current trigger lineup for the deck profile. A crit for heal. But in the Vision Cup, aside from the 4 heals being mandatory, especially the 10k, I think that the 10k heal is too valuable because of the defensive power. Although this can definitely be Shaggy Rabbit. Like, if you want it to be Shaggy Rabbit for the counter charge, by all means, you can do a 2-2 split. I just prefer the 10k power. So, without the heals, let's go into the trigger lineups. So, when I competed, I played 7 crit, 3 stand. So, we're just going to imagine that these two, like, face down cards are ringers. And because, like, I can't find my other copies. I don't know why. I just can't. I think I gave them, like, 90% of them away to my other friends who play golds. When, like, ezel was relevant, like, super relevant. It's still kind of relevant. But, yeah, no. So, like, this is my trigger lineup. The 7 crit, I like the 7 crit instead of the 4 ringers like Nico played and hit when he played this past weekend in the premium one. I liked the 7 because it's more crits in the deck, and I want to not have to worry about having to wait a turn, having to cycle crits back so I can ultima. That's just my mindset. And that helped me a lot. The ringer at 3, the reason why is because you can call him down early, and then you can use his skill to get more cards back into your hand from Spear X calls. Also, if you call him and another unit with Spear X, like if it's a Din Drain, you're straight up +2 to your hand, which is super good because again, this deck wants to stall till Ultima. So usually the deck will give 0 damage to your opponent. A lot of matchups you need to give 0 damage because if you give them the 1 damage, they will live. Well, sorry, no, they will beat you because things like DI will win on the 1 damage and can win on the 1 damage. So you want to 0 damage certain decks, and having Gigantic Ringer to be able to plus you cards into your hand is really good. Also, the stand trigger Ultima play has sometimes clutched me games where instead of going crit, it's stand crit, and that has won me the game because my lines are already metric big tons of power. So if you're swinging with a lot of them and starting to force damage, then you hit a stand trigger, it's huge, and that can be the decider game, especially if they don't have Honolly. Like, if you know that they don't play Honolly, or they don't have a Honolly on board, unless it's Bermuda Triangle, or anything that can call a Honolly randomly during your battle phase. So Bermuda Triangle, you can safely stand, which is really good. I like it a lot. The stand trigger is nice. And also, like, that's the 3 stand and the 2 marks were because I was playing 2 Lavinias. At the time. So I think that that's better. If I were to change this deck, I'd probably go a 3rd draw PG and then just play 2 stand triggers. I think I would do that because there have been times where I would rather like just PG from deck and have the ability to do that more often. And also just hitting draw triggers was super, super, super useful. Like, I liked it a lot. It helped me a lot. But from like my experience with the deck, the 3 stands were pretty good. Also, in your Glorious Training turn, you can like casually call them and pump your lines even more, which is really nice. So that's the trigger lineup. You can play 8 crit if you want, but I think that the ringers are too good. Anyways, moving on. So we're gonna start off with the G guards. Ractome. Ractome lets you filter for your ultimate stride. Dismal. It protects bird or angel. That's it. Release, it can accelerate you to Ultima. Also, it can like help set up your board for Ultima because it can, if you like check top 2 and there's a bird or an angel, you just guard with it, then call it to rearguard circle. So it's great. Slimy, it's the best G guard in the clan. I don't think I really need to get into Slimy. I only played 2 because I only own 2, and also I felt like the deck would be fine with 2, and since that, like, I've never felt like the need to play more Slimy Flares, so it's great. It's great. GB8, it's the GB8. I don't go into the GB8 a lot, so, like, if you guys do, cool, but I typically don't. And also, funny thing, actually, in the Vision Cup, I forgot to play the GB8, so, yeah, that was really awkward. Yeah, I forgot to put in the GB8. It was pretty awkward. Anyways, one Agnos, Nubatama existed. I like beat Nubatama super hard though, so like I wasn't too worried. I didn't have to go into Agnos, but if you do have to go into Agnos, you can still accelerate your Ultima turn because what you can do is you can, as long as you have the superior right options and the counter charge for it, you can still like ultimate stride into Agnos, first stride right, superior right back down to Blonde Ezel or Ravenhaired, and then stride and Spear X, you have GB3 with free stride cost. So worst case scenario, if they eat out like all your hand, at least you can still strike next turn, or you just ultima, because they're going to be dwindling your hand anyways. You want to have the free stride against Nubatama. Also, the Nubatama matchup's super weird because like of Jamio Congo, so you just want to like aggro them. You really just want to aggro and pressure them. Ultima. The deck revolves around Ultima. I don't think I need to get into Ultima. Radiant Sword, I never used him. He and the Celtics winner were actually Mithril Ezels when I played. You want to play Mithril Ezel because of the Link Joker matchup. Although, like as I've stated beforehand, if you don't want to play Mithril Ezel, you can cut down the Raven Hairs for Militant Act Dragons, and that way you can pretty much safely Ultima with the 1XL circle, which is really nice. You just need 3 Counterblast, but I think you should be fine with that. So, yeah. Spearex is super strong. I don't really think I need to get into it. It's Spearex. Like, it's your best stride. It's literally your best stride. I don't think I need to get into Spearex that much. Glorious Raining, multi-attacking. It can kill people. And then Helios. Helios is cool. Against Luard or Plants, it can randomly clutch you games if you can't Ultima. Against Plants, you should win on your Ultima turn because you just Angel, and even if they have PGs, they still die. Same thing with Luard, but who knows, like, against Karo Expo, if you have to, you know, attack them and give them damage, because, like, you do, right? You can just drop Helios and win. There has been a few games where, like, I played against Karo Expo and helped my friend Sean test it out before Vision, and I was playing another Ultima deck, and I almost won. Like, I would have won on I think I would have won on Helios, but I just Ultimate and it basically guaranteed it, so I was fine. But just, like, the Helios is pretty cool. Also, the Quad Drive. The Quad Drive's really cool. So if you just need to, like, really fluff your hand and, like, try to, like, dig for heal triggers, the Quad Drive is pretty cool. So, yeah. That's the deck. This is the ultimate deck. It suffers playing against Kagero and Narukami. So yeah, you don't want to turbo on. You don't want to tunnel vision on Ultima against Kagero. Kagero will punish you super hard if you do because they'll just denial Griffin and then you lose. So just keep that in mind. Also, Narukami's really weird. I haven't had too much troubles playing into Narukami, but I haven't tested it out with this list yet, so I don't know. But the deck's really cool. It's really fun to play. Typically, you want to 0 damage your opponents. Just keep that in mind. You 0 to 6 them usually. And yeah, that's the deck. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, shout out to Nico for creating the concept and helping me out with my list. Thank you a lot for that. Shout outs to CBC TV for the fact that he like posted the game that I played that I show off this deck in. I think I do make some misplays in it. I do. So like not like big misplays, but like I think like little ones. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, this is the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a great one. And Suryo signing out.